Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith. And today I am talking about Manhunt by Gretchen Felker-Martin. This is from Tor Nightfire. There's their little logo there. And this is tough. This is a tough review for me to do. I don't know how much I should say. And there are things in this book that I think are sensitive, and I do not wish to misspeak to offend anyone. And I'm not afraid of people yelling at me. It's that I just honestly don't want to offend anyone, but I'm not sure that I know all the proper terminology that I should be using. Does that make sense? Because this book is, there's been a virus, and it has essentially turned all the males in the world, into these feral beasts. I believe it's if you have a certain level of testosterone, you're going to turn into one of these. I say turn into. I mean, they're not like. There's pustules and growths and things, but it's not like they're turning into werewolves or anything. But they are running around, just wild beasts, raping and killing, not necessarily in that order, eating people, just horrifying creatures. And our main characters are Beth and Fran, and they are trans women. And they essentially hunt men because, and I didn't know this, there is estrogen in testicles. If I get any of this wrong, please correct me. Or estrogen producing chemicals, something. But anyway, they can get what they need from testicles and other things. I can't remember if it's the kidney or the liver. And there's something about chewing on licorice root. But, since they got to kill the men anyway, you might as well take their testicles and their kidney or liver, whichever one it is, and put it to good use, because they work with some other people, and there's a doctor who can essentially makes this serum. It's not really a vaccine, and it's not, I don't know what else you'd call it, a medicine, I guess. Makes this medicine that trans women can take to raise their estrogen levels, lower their testosterone. I don't know technically which it is, but it keeps them from turning. So these are our main characters, Beth and Fran. And Beth is, and again, I'm using terminology that's in the book. Beth is occasionally referred to as a brick, not a term I had ever heard before, but I take it to mean she'll never pass as a woman. She's a large woman, a woman, what society would say, passes feminine. Maybe that's the way I should put it. Again, I don't mean to offend anyone. Hopefully I won't. But yeah, so Beth is a large woman with very masculine features. Unfortunately for both Beth and Fran, the world went to hell before they could, I think they occasionally say, have their downstairs surgery. But so Beth is the larger. Fran looks more feminine. I'm trying to be careful here. Fran looks more feminine. There are points in the book where it's not even questioned. Because, before I get to the next main character, there are these crazed turf women. They have XX tattooed somewhere on them, a lot of them on the forehead. They believe, a woman is a woman, XX, that's all it is. And they won't think twice about killing trans people. They say, I want to say they try to make it seem that it's for the safety because, these trans women, and they wouldn't say that. The TERFs would not call them that. I'm not going to say what they would call them, but they try to say, well, it's for safety because these trans women could turn and become one of these feral creatures because they're not women, they're men. So we kill them. But they do deal with them when they have to, but it's all really just waiting until they have the chance to kill them. So we have these horrible, horrible people that are an obstacle to our main characters. Our third main character, I would say, is Robbie, who is a trans man. He eventually, and I think my favorite character, but he eventually meets Fran and Beth. They get together, and they're trying to survive in this apocalyptic world. They have certain goals. Those goals will change. There are obstacles. There are all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I realize that I've been talking all this time, and I've basically, but this is supposed to be like the nutshell of what the book is about. The book is about Beth and Fran, two trans women, Robbie, a trans man, as they try to negotiate a post-apocalyptic world where men have become feral, raping, murdering, cannibalistic creatures. There's your nutshell. All right, so okay, I covered a lot of stuff already. First of all, I love this cover. I just think that is fantastic. And I think Brian Keene had said something about this on Twitter quite some time ago and put it on my radar, and I was very interested. And I wasn't smart enough to put it on my Amazon wish list at that point in time. And then I could not remember the author or the title, and I tweeted out, and I tagged a couple of people, and I said, what is the name of the book about the feral men, and it's got a ball sack, that might not be exactly how I put it, but a ball sack on the cover. And it was not long before I had a few people tell me, oh, I think you're talking about Manhunt by Gretchen Felker-Martin. Make sure I'm saying that correctly, because I'm looking at it backwards here. And I did then immediately go and put it on my wish list. I was very excited to get this. So it's it's very well written. It's very, very violent. There's some very graphic sex. So all of the things I like in a book. There are very, very flawed characters. Beth and Fran both are, there are main characters, there are heroes, and they are very flawed, which I think is a plus for Gretchen Felker-Martin, that they haven't written, just sort of purely heroic characters, which I don't have a problem with that. I'm a fan of old pulp stuff. I'm a fan of comic books, and a lot of those characters are, purely heroic. They might have the tiniest bit of flaw, but Beth and Fran are seriously flawed. They make some horrible decisions. They can be selfish. They can, I already said make horrible decisions, but because they're human. They're just people trying to survive in this world, a world that really is trying to kill them from every direction. They not only have to deal with the feral men, but then you've got these TERFs. They're taking over cities throughout the United States. It's a huge growing movement. They're forcing people to join them, or they'll kill you. They are... I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything they do. You need to discover it for yourself. But that's the strength of Felker-Martin's writing. I think that's the way I should be saying it, since it's hyphenated. If I don't want to keep saying the whole Gretchen Felker-Martin, then it would be Felker-Martin, right? I don't know. But that's the strength of their writing, is that they can that they write these flawed yet still compelling and interesting characters that we're going to root for. And while they're doing that, there's lots of graphic, disgusting violence and graphic sex and other characters. There's a character that works with the TERFs, for the TERFs, who is a complex character. The Doctor. I'm afraid I don't remember everybody's names. I did not review this as soon as I read this a little while ago, and I've been sitting on it because I wasn't sure how to do this justice. So I don't remember everybody's names, but the Doctor, I really like the Doctor character. She's a very large woman, but she's doing what she can to help, and she's a friend. She's the one that Beth and Fran bring the ball sacks to, and the other things, the kidney or liver, I can't remember which, and she's the one that manufactures the medicine. And there's this whole thing with this rich bunker brat who that comes in, and again, so many things I don't want to tell you, but really, really well written, really compelling characters. Even the bad guys are interesting and compelling. I mean, yeah, I want to see them all die in horrible, horrible ways, but I mean, that's the strength of the writing. The worst thing you can do with a bad guy is make them boring. It's a timely novel. It's probably going to bother a lot of people, but I think it's something that should be read. I can understand some people don't like the graphic violence and the graphic sex. If that's just not your bag, I don't know what to tell you. Otherwise, I think it's an important book to read. It has things to say. It's one of those, and I am certainly not smart enough to analyze, to get deep into this story. But I do think it does couch some very important things, and I don't even know that it's subtle. Very important issues, modern day issues, in this post-apocalyptic, violent, bloody story. I mean, obviously, it's dealing with trans issues, which I think are important. So, yeah, I feel like I've gotten a little rambly. Again, I think it's difficult for me to talk about. I'm not sure that I'm smart enough to talk about a lot of what's in here. All I can do is tell you I think it's an incredibly well-written book with fantastic, compelling characters, and it's got all the sex and violence that I like in a book. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. That is Manhunt by Gretchen Felker-Martin, and from Tor Nightfire. I gave it 4 out of 5, I believe, on Goodreads. Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5. It's really good. Would have given it 4.5 if that's possible, but they don't let you do that. So there you have it. Of course, I'll have links to it in the description below, because I know all of you discerning people are going to want to check this out. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, if you want to correct any of the terminology I used, please do. But put that all in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All that YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K. ERIKSMITH 5757. All right. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, And until next time, read more books.